What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we are going to be talking about why people fail in real estate investing. Now, having been in this business for many years, having seen a lot of deals, having worked with students, having been a student myself, you start to see certain trends when it comes to real estate investing. So the first reason why people fail at real estate investing is they are not educated. So by not educated, I don't mean, haven't graduated college or have a master's degree or something like that. I mean educated within the real estate investment world. So sometimes I'll see investors that, they're like shocked as to why they maybe didn't make a profit on their deal. And in reality, they might have not really done, the proper research on comps. They might have not used, like, let's say a deal analyzer to actually show what the profit would be when you take out, all the closing costs, commission, things like that. And by the way, there's going to be a deal analyzer app at the bottom of this video that you can use. But anyways, they will have not, they would have given a very minimal effort in terms of their education. So, and actually when I first got started, we were buying properties without, I didn't have an education. In my first 3 or 4 deals, we got in way over our heads because we really had no idea what we were doing. We hadn't read books, we hadn't talked to other people. We had just kind of figured that, if we buy a property at this price and then if we sell it at this higher price, I'm sure there's a profit in there somewhere, which is pretty dangerous to do. So you really want to educate yourself as much as possible, whether through books and maybe just online searches. Even better would be coaches and things like that, which we'll actually get into in the next point. But you have to have some type of framework for when you get started in real estate investing, and you don't need to study for years or anything like that. My first couple deals, I didn't know anything about real estate investing. For my first couple deals, the only thing I knew how to do was to generate motivated seller leads. So I knew how to send out direct mail to make my phone ring from someone that said, I want to sell my house ASAP and the house needs a lot of work. And then once I got that lead, I would oftentimes just send it over to the top investor and we would get the deal done, kind of like a joint venture. Okay, so the second reason I see people fail with real estate investing is that they get their information from the wrong people. So it's so common to have people give pretty strong opinions on real estate investing, but these are people that may have not even done a flip before or may not be successful investors. So I really want you to get your information from people that are actually in the business doing flips on a consistent basis. Everyone knows, maybe let's say a real estate agent who can tell you everything there is to know about house flipping. The only problem is he's never flipped a house in his life, or if he did, he probably lost money on it, and now he'll give you every reason why house flipping doesn't work. Or take your friend or maybe your coworker and they bought their first house and now, they think they're the expert, so they'll give you, all types of strange and weird opinions onto why, real estate investing works, why it doesn't, but it's only coming from one reference experience. It's not someone that is full-time in the business. Or sometimes, people might read an article online by CNN that says, house flipping is dead. And then, once you actually read the article, it's they kind of manipulate the stats, and most news these days is fake anyway. So, try to not listen to people in the news or people that are unqualified giving you advice, because that type of advice is everywhere. What's more rare is the people that are full-time in the business doing deals, that those are the people you want to listen to. And I would always recommend getting a mentor when you're getting started. It's going to make things so much easier. It's going to make your path to being a successful real estate investor much easier. Now, you can do it without a mentor, but just from my own personal experience, having a mentor is much better. There are several ways to get one. You can, if you don't have the resources, maybe you can just do research online. If you have some small resources, maybe you can invest in their books or their courses. Or even better, which I would recommend, which I did personally, which helped me out the most, is to invest in a coaching program where, you might have access to several people. You might have email access where you can bounce questions off of, and it'll be more of a financial investment, but you'll be more committed and you'll take more action and you'll be more successful. Which leads me to my third point to why people fail in real estate investing, and that is they're just not committed enough. They're not taking enough action, which is why I actually like making a huge investment in a coaching program or something like that, because that forces you to take action. Because when you spend a lot of money on a coaching program, it's kind of like a shock. You're like, wow, I really need to make this work, and it's this pressure that you never would have had if you had just bought a book or watched a YouTube video. But anyways, I see a lot of people, maybe they'll spend 40 or 50 hours in some job that they hate, and then they're trying to become a full-time real estate investor, but then they might only spend an hour or two putting up a bandit sign or doing a direct mail campaign, or they're just not really taking enough action to see enough results. So there you have it, the reasons why people fail in real estate investing. Number one, you need to get educated. read articles online, read books, take courses. You don't necessarily need a master's degree or anything like that. And like I mentioned, my first couple deals, I did not know anything about real estate investing, and I still don't. But I know how to generate motivated seller leads. I know how to do marketing to generate leads of people saying, I want to sell my house fast. Make me an offer. And the second reason why people fail in real estate investing is they're listening to the wrong people. Maybe they're listening to the CNN article written by someone that's never flipped a house in their life, telling you why house flipping is dead, or they're listening to a real estate agent who lost money on a deal 10 years ago and now gives you every reason why real estate investing doesn't work. Or maybe they're listening to their coworker who just bought their first condo and now, wants to tell you everything about real estate investing. Don't listen to those people. They're oftentimes very unsuccessful in real estate investing, and they oftentimes have no idea what they're talking about. You should only be listening to the people that are doing flips on a consistent basis. And there's plenty of those people out there. Look on YouTube. Look at there's a lot of YouTube interviews of successful real estate investors. Look at places like Bigger Pockets, Flip Nerd, things like that. These are people that are doing 40, 50 flips a year. Those are the people you should listen to. And even better, I think you should get a mentor. Having a mentor for me was the biggest thing that helped me out. It's going to be much easier when you're doing deals to have some type of person that you can rely on to give you advice, when you get that very motivated seller lead. And the third reason why I see people fail in real estate investing is they're just not committed enough. So you really need to take massive action. I mean, you really need to carve out some time every week, every month. You can't just spend an hour or two here or there. You need to really jump in. You can't just stick your toes in the water. You need to jump in fully and be fully committed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. Don't make these mistakes that I mentioned in this video, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, bye.